We refer to the gripper as a 3D push block, and we call it that because unlike any other push block in the world, the gripper gives you 3 directions of control. The green grip on the bottom here grabs the wood, and it allows you to maintain constant pressure downward onto the table, inward toward the fence, and forward through the cut. What's unique about the gripper is that it's designed to control both the keeper and the offcut side of your workpiece. And the reason that's important is because you never ever want a loose piece of wood just rattling around that spinning blade. I'm sure that most of you, like all of us, have used push sticks in the past. I'm going to show you what's wrong with push sticks right now. The friction on the bottom of your workpiece wants to bring that wood away from the fence, no matter what you do. Every time you push it, it's going to want to pull away from the fence, every time. So when your workpiece passes those front teeth, as it moves along the body, there's a little bit of room, not much, but just enough. There's a little bit of room for your workpiece to move. The gripper keeps it tight against the fence. Without the gripper, that piece may want to stray away from the fence and make contact with the back teeth as they're coming out of the back of the saw. When that happens, you run the risk of one of those back teeth grabbing the workpiece and shooting it back out at you. That's the root cause of kickback, and that's what the gripper prevents. What the gripper does to eliminate that problem is that it keeps constant pressure to the fence and downward on the table. And that controls both sides of your cut, keeping it from pinching the back of the blade. That's not only important for preventing kickback, but it also gives you a much cleaner cut. We call the gripper a moving blade guard because it allows you to control your piece from the top throughout the entire cut. It creates separation between your hands and the blade, so even if you were to have an accident, your gripper paid the price and not your hands. If or when you cut into one of the legs on your gripper, don't worry about it, it's not a big deal. All of these legs are individually replaceable and they're a lot cheaper than a visit to the emergency room. Now that we've covered some of the key benefits and safety features, we're ready to go ahead and make our first cut. Since the 1/4 inch leg is up against the fence, I'm going to set the fence to a 1/4 inch so I can show you a 1/4 inch cut. When making cuts with the gripper, there is some technique involved, but it's simple and very important. A good way to achieve these cuts is by putting your stock against the fence and then setting your gripper on top of the stock, just separate it a little bit, and then sliding it toward the fence. As you push your workpiece through the cut, you're applying a little pressure downward, but also toward the fence, and that's going to make sure that your workpiece is staying parallel to the blade at all times. Quick tip, once you set your center leg in your fence, it's a good policy to pass the gripper over the blade just to make sure that it's clear. And as always, safety first. Wear eye protection. Now you'll notice that I had complete control of both sides of my workpiece throughout the entire cut. Matter of fact, I was able to pull it back toward me with both sides of it in the exact same position relative to one another. The only thing that's missing is the kerf that the blade took out. You'll also notice that there's no burning or blade marks because the gripper kept the piece parallel to the blade the entire time. Now that we've ripped this 1/4 inch piece, we can actually rip it down again to 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch. And here's where your balance support and your center leg come in. Put that piece against your fence and then set the gripper on top and against the fence. Now you'll notice that we're wobbling. We don't want to wobble. That's why every gripper, GR100 and GR200, comes with this balance support. Put the gripper on top and push it to where the outside leg is tight against the fence. Then you loosen these knobs and drop your balance support. And it's that easy. Now we have no side-to-side wobble. And now here's where your center leg comes into play. Even though this is a small piece, you can still control both sides of the cut by adjusting the center leg. You slide the center leg over so that it's covering as much of the off-cut side of your workpiece as it can without making contact with the outside of the blade. That looks like a good spot. And again, we're going to run the gripper without the workpiece under it just to make sure that we have clearance for our blade. Oh yeah, it's good stuff. Now the blade is going to pass right between the center leg and the 1/4 inch leg that's up against the fence. And we're still going to be able to control both sides of that workpiece. Now we ended up with an off-cut side that is slightly larger than 1/4 inch, so we can rip that one down too. Waste not, want not. Check that out. A clean 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch cut, safely and easily. Try doing that with a push stick. Again, the center leg of the gripper is adjustable, so if I want to make a small cut like 1/4 inch, I can have the center leg controlling the off-cut side. If my cut's wider, say 2 inches, I can have the center leg positioned on the fence side of the blade, and the 1/2 inch leg is going to control the off-cut side. Now, if you remove the balance support completely and just use the gripper body by itself, you can use the 1/2 inch leg up against the fence and the 1/4 inch leg to control the offcut side. And this will give you a rip capacity of about 3 inches. You see I was able to keep control of both sides of the cut still, and this small offcut side is still being completely controlled by the gripper. If you need to make a cut wider than 3 inches, you put the balance support back onto the gripper, onto the side with the 1/2 inch leg. Using the gripper with the balance support riding against the fence, you'll get a rip capacity of about 5 inches. Well, that just about covers the basics. Stay tuned as we dive in a little deeper and explore the versatility of the gripper with various accessories, different configurations, and advanced techniques. Thanks for watching.